with some. I also,
Pardon?
yeah, that's what Jenna told me.
Let's talk after.
Okay.
Like,
You're on two lawyers.
yeah.
Okay, good morning. We'll be on the record in Public Service Commission docket 2035-4, application of Rocky Mountain Power for authority to increase its retail electric utility service rates in Utah and for approval of its proposed electric service schedules and electric service regulations. This is a hearing on the request for approval of a test period. My name's Thad LeVar. I'll be the presiding officer for this hearing this morning, and why don't we start with appearances for Rocky Mountain Power.
Thank you. Good morning. Matt Moskin on behalf of Rocky Mountain Power.
Thank you.
Good morning, Patricia E. Schmid with the Utah Attorney General's Office on behalf of the Division of Public Utilities. And with me as the division's witness is Dr. Abdinasser Abdullah.
Okay, thank you.
Robert Moore, on behalf of the Office of Consumer Services, we have on the phone a witness, Donna Ramus.
Okay. I'm assuming none of the other intervening parties are in the room. No one else provided any testimony on this issue. Any preliminary matters? Okay, Mr. Moskin.
Thank you. We call Mr. Stephen McDougall as a witness.
Is there any objection to keeping the witnesses at the tables? Let me ask the court reporter, are you okay if the witnesses stay where they're sitting? Or would you rather have them up here? Yes, they all have a microphone. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Let me go ahead and swear him in. Mr. McDougall, do you swear to tell the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. McDougall, would you please state your full name for the record?
Yes, my full name is Stephen R. McDougall.
I think you need the mic a little closer to you.
Okay, we'll try that.
All right, Mr. McDougall, have you prepared and filed any testimony in this matter?
Yes, I have.
Would you please identify what you filed in this initial proceeding?
I filed direct testimony.
And do you have any corrections to that, or are you aware of any errors in that testimony?
I do not have any corrections.
If I were to ask you the questions as set forth in your direct testimony, would your answers today be the same as they are in the pre-filed direct testimony?
Yes.
Rocky Mountain Power moves for the submission of the direct testimony of Stephen R. McDougall.
If anyone objects, let me know, and I'm not seeing any objections, so the motion's granted.
Thank you. Mr. McDougall, have you had an opportunity to prepare a summary of your pre-filed testimony?
Yes, I have.
Would you please share that with the commission and parties?
Yes. Chairman LeVar, staff, parties, Rocky Mountain Power is preparing to file a general rate case on approximately May 5th, 2020 for new rates to be effective on January 1st, 2021. My testimony explains why the company is seeking a test period determination prior to filing the company's general rate case application, and explains the reasons for the company's proposed test period that uses the 12-month period ending December 31st, 2021, with a 13-month average rate base, referred to as the 2021 proposed test period. The DPU and OCS have both filed testimony supporting the test period, and no other party has filed testimony that is opposed to the test period. As described in my testimony, a test period determination prior to filing the general rate case will simplify the filing process and allow parties to more effectively focus their resources on the relevant aspects of the case. My testimony explains why, after evaluating a variety of different factors, using the 2021 proposed test period that aligns with the rate effective period is the test period that produces rates that properly reflect the cost of providing service to our customers during the time frame for which the rates are in effect. The company has identified the major drivers that necessitate the need for its general rate case to be the capital projects associated with the wind repowering docket, new wind and transmission projects that have been heard before this commission, and the implementation of the new depreciation rates, which is currently outstanding. As discussed in my testimony, the 2021 proposed test period is the only test period that fully includes these three main drivers noted in my testimony, and provides the company the ability to recover its prudently incurred costs related to the wind repowering projects, the new wind and transmission investments, and the depreciation rate changes. I recommend that, based upon the reasons above, the Commission approve the company's 2021 proposed test period. Thank you.
Mr. McDougall is available for any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Schmidt. Do you have any questions?
No questions.
Thank you, Mr. Moore.
No questions, thank you.
Okay. I just have one. Do you disagree with the assertion of Ms. Ramos that if the rate case filing date is not on the date that everyone is expecting it to be, there might need to be a modification to the test period?
Yes, not necessarily the test period, but the base period, which is what she was referring to. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any other questions. Anything else, Mr. Moskin?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Schmidt.
Thank you. The division would like to call its witness, Mr. Abdullah. May he please be sworn?
Dr. Abdullah, do you swear to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Could you please state your name, title, employer, and business address for the record?
My name is Abdinasir Abdullah. I work for the Division of Public Utilities, and I'm testifying on behalf of the division. And I'm a technical consultant for the division.
Thank you. Have you participated on behalf of the division in this docket?
Yes, I did.
Did you prepare and cause to be filed your testimony on February 26th?
Yes, I did.
Do you have any changes or corrections to that testimony?
Yes, I do.
Could you please tell us what they are?
Yes, on page 6 of my direct testimony, line is 106 through 109. I have listed a number of facilities that the Commission has approved for repowering. One of them should not be included here. The Leaning Juniper facility in Oregon on line 107 should not be included in the list and should be stricken. Thank you.
With that change, do you adopt your pre-filed testimony as your testimony here today?
Yes, I do.
The division would like to request that DPU exhibit number 1.0 DR be admitted.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any objection, so the motion's granted.
Thank you. Dr. Abdullah, do you have a summary to present?
Yes, I do.
Please proceed.
I've reviewed Rocky Mountain Power's request for Commission approval of its proposed test period and the accompanying direct testimony of Mr. McDougall filed with the Commission on January 17, 2020. Rocky Mountain Power proposed a fully forecasted test period, which is the calendar year 2020, using a 13-month average rate base. Rocky Mountain Power will use this test period in its next general rate case, which is intended to file on May the 5th, 2020. In this general rate case, Rocky Mountain Power intends to request a rate effective date of January 1, 2021. Rocky Mountain Power is requesting Commission approval of its proposed test period prior to the filing its next general rate case to simplify the process. If the test period is not identified prior to the filing of a general rate case, the Utah Administrative Code would require Rocky Mountain Power to file multiple potential test periods, and other parties will have to review them, thus complicating the process. Rocky Mountain Power is applying for the Commission approval of its proposed test period prior to its general rate case application. Because of that, Rocky Mountain Power did not file a forecasts, and all of the assumptions that Rocky Mountain Power used to construct its test period. Hence, the division did not get the opportunity to review those materials, However, the division will make necessary adjustments that it deems appropriate as the division reviews Rocky Mountain Power's filing, including adjustments to forecasting issues. To determine the appropriateness of the proposed test period, the division performed a compliance review of Rocky Mountain Power's application and determined that it complies with the relevant Utah administrative codes and Utah statutes. The division also considered the factors that the commission identified in its 2004 order of test period. Here, the division determined that, as was indicated in the governor's 2020 state of the state address, the economy of Utah is thriving. The division also determined that Rocky Mountain Power is deploying incremental capital because of investments in the commission-approved wind repowering and new wind and transmission projects. These capital investments, coupled with the implementation of new depreciation rates, are the major drivers of the rate case, as was indicated by Rocky Mountain Power. Therefore, the division concurs with Rocky Mountain Power that, based on the timing of the wind repowering, new wind and transmission projects, and the increases in the depreciation expenses, a 2021 test period best reflects the conditions that Rocky Mountain Power will face during the rate effective period and would allow it a reasonable opportunity to recover the costs associated with these projects. Regarding the risks associated with forecasting error, the certainty of the data in historical test periods needs to be balanced against the goal of choosing the test period that best reflects the rate effective period. The division believes that the proposed test period in this case reflects a fair balance of these competing interests because of the capital additions. And that concludes my summary.
Thank you. Dr. Abdoulaye is available for cross-examination questions and questions from the presiding officer.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Moore. Do you have any questions?
No questions, thank you.
Mr. Moskin?
No questions.
Okay, I don't either. Thank you for your testimony this morning.
Thank you.
Anything further, Ms. Schmid?
Nothing further from the division, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Moore.
We ask that you call Donna Ramos and ask that she be sworn.
Okay, are you on the phone, Ms. Ramos?
Yes, I am.
Do you swear to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Could you please state your name for the record and for whom you are testifying?
Yes, my name is Donna Ramos, and I'm testifying on behalf of the Utah Office of Consumer Services.
Did you prepare and file this testimony on February 26, 1920? Right. 2020?
Yes, it was filed February 26, 2020.
Do you have any changes to this testimony?
No, I do not.
If I asked you the same questions in your testimony, would your answer be the same?
Yes, they would.
The office moves to admit the testimony.
I'm not seeing any objection from any party, so that's granted.
If I can ask the commission a question here, I'm not sure Rocky Mountain Power asked to admit their testimony.
I think we did.
I apologize. Do you have a summary for your testimony?
Yes, just very brief.
Could you please proceed?
Yes, in my testimony, I explained that based on my review of the company's application and a review of the direct testimony of Stephen McDougall in this docket, that I found no reason to object or challenge the test year requested by the company, which is a future test period ending December 31st, 2021, based on a 13-month average rate base. I also explained in my testimony that I found no reason to object to the company's intent to utilize a historic base period ending December 31st, 2019 in the upcoming filing, with the only caveat being that if the timing of the rate case filing is delayed substantially from the currently anticipated date of early May 2020, then a more recent base year may be appropriate with the filing. And that completes my summary.
Ms. Remus is available for cross-examinations and questions from the chair.
Thank you. Ms. Schmidt, any questions?
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moskin.
No questions.
I don't have any. Thank you, Ms. Ramus.
Nothing
You're welcome.
further.
Okay. Anything further from anyone? Okay, we will issue an order on this soon. That order will approve the requested test period, subject to the caveat expressed by the office. That order should be out very soon. We're adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.